and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica and I make art videos. Today's video is going to be about the Kuretake Gansai Tambi paint set of 36. What prompted this video was the new set of the Art Nouveau, or the new set 2, whatever Kuretake's calling it, but I have been seeing those videos everywhere. The paint is very hard to find and I thought I really want it, but I don't even know if I like Kuretake paints because I have not even used this set yet. I received this set, I believe, from my sister, and I showed it in one of my haul videos, and I haven't used it yet. So I thought this is the perfect time to get out this paint set and do some swatching, see if I like the paint before I even think about purchasing the Art Nouveau set that is so coveted at the moment. Here is the green box that they come in with this nice gold foiling on the cover, and you just lift it off, and here are the paints. So inside the cover, they do have like a little swatch sheet, but I will not be using that because it is not watercolor paper, so it won't give an accurate representation. But you do notice that they give the number and the English name of each color, so that's helpful. So you don't have to worry about translating. Now these are Japanese paints, and I don't know if we call them watercolor because they're slightly different than our watercolor here in the Western world, which I will talk about a little later. So on top of the paints, it has this plastic packaging, probably to hold them in place because they are quite loose and there's nothing in there to hold them. But this also could double as a palette because this does not come with a palette section, or you'll have to have your own palette. Now, if I pull out one of these pans, this is what they look like. On the bottom, they do have the associated number and the name in Japanese. They do not have the English name on the bottom of these pans, and they do have the number corresponding here on the cardboard tray. I saw in some larger sets they do have the name and number on the bottom as well, but at least they put the number on the bottom of these pans so that way if you were to take them out, it's not too hard to put them back where they belong. Now, I'll probably keep mine in this cardboard box, but as you acquire more sets, I'm sure having multiple boxes could be a little bit of a pain. So before we get to swatching, I actually want to show you a comparison of these Kuretake pans compared to our Western pans that we're used to with watercolor. So this is a half pan, and this is a full pan. And when you lay them down, and here they are laid out next to each other so you can get an idea of size. If you put them directly next to each other, you can see that the Kuretake pans are one full pan and one half pan long, and it is about one full pan and maybe a half of the half pan, so a quarter pan wide. But these Kuretake pans are not filled up all the way, as you can see, so it's undetermined how much paint is actually in these Kuretake pans. I'm half tempted to take a palette knife and slide it along the edge and scrape out the paint to see how much would fit in a full pan or half pan for comparison, but I'm not sure if I really want to do that. But it probably would be really interesting to know because all the other videos I've seen about these, no one has ever done that, and the question everybody has on their mind is how much paint is actually in these pans. Maybe I'll get up the courage to do it before the end of this video, but we'll see. So the reason that these Kuretake pans are so large compared to our Western pans is due to their Asian brushes, like these. Their brush tips are much larger than ours, and so using them in a half pan would be very difficult or could damage the bristles, whereas there is plenty of room in a Kuretake Gansai Tambi pan. So here is my swatch sheet. I made this on Fabriano 25% cotton 140-pound paper, and I divided it up so that all 36 colors could fit here on this paper, and I'll probably end up folding this in half to put in the box to keep with it. Now I did black permanent marker lines down the side so that way we can get an idea of how opaque these paints are. So I think I'm going to do the first pan in real time so that way we can get an idea of how they re-wet, and then I'll probably speed up the rest of these swatches. So they do re-wet, but you can feel how sticky they are, which I will talk about here. So what is Kuretake Gansai Tambi paint? Kuretake is actually the name of the brand, as there are other Gansai paints out there. While Western watercolors are traditionally bound with gum arabic, Gansai paint is bound with a combination that could include, because of this different kind of binder, is why when they dry they give off a glossy or a semi-glossy finish. The binder adhesion in Gansai paint is weak compared to other watercolors, so as a result they tend to lift much easier than our transparent watercolors here in our Western world. So for that reason they may be difficult to layer because you may be pulling up layers from underneath. Now there is no pigment information given by Kuretake or included, so therefore it's undetermined what exactly is in these paints and if they are light fast or not. I would do my own light fast test, but unfortunately I live in an area that does not get a lot of sun, so I do not do any light fast tests here on my channel. I'm sure there are other videos out there that have done them. Another thing I noticed when making these swatches with the Kuretake paints is that they are incredibly smooth. I didn't see any granulation in these, so if that's something that interests you, then this set might not be for you. Also, because of the binder being a sticky glue-like, I felt like I really had to swish my brushes around in the water a lot to make sure that none of the paint residue was left in the brush when I switched paints. Now, because these are different from our watercolors here in the quote-unquote Western world, I would not do any kind of comparison videos like them to, for example, Winsor & Newton or Daniel Smith, because they are just a different type of paint. They are made for Asian papers, which are very different from our watercolor paper, so I don't think it's fair to the brand. That said though, I do like them for what they are, but I am not a huge fan of the gloss. As soon as you introduce water, though, the gloss disappears. It seems to only happen with a lot of thick paint and no water. Also, with any water blooms you see here in my swatches are my own fault due to lack of water control and not the paint. I did see that you can buy some of these paints in open stock, though they do seem harder to find that way and of course are more expensive when purchased individually. So here is the completed swatch sheet. I did enjoy swatching these and I am interested in purchasing the Art Nouveau set as soon as I can find it. And I plan on doing some future paintings with them. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye!